on it. I can make it however I want. And then, Joe Schmuckatelli comes in there and he does the same thing. And he's like, I can make it however I want it. And then this dude comes in and he's like, I can make it however I want it.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you know what you got? Chaos. Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to the All Things Performance Podcast. This is Josiah Igano with my co-host Derek Devine. D, how we living, man?
Dude, it's about time we're back in the building.
It's been a minute, man. We've had Thanksgiving. We've had some. Hey, man, you had a little, not a little. You had a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament that you won. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear about that a little bit. Sweep the leg. You know what I'm saying? And then
let's go.
And then we just life, man. Life has happened and it's a good thing, man. So how you been, man?
Been good, man. I mean, it's been fun, man. I've been missing a podcast, but hit the jiu-jitsu tournament. Shout out Jay Page's Jiu-Jitsu, Tempe, Arizona. If you're ever in the Valley, come get some work in. But dude, it's been cool, man. Got to catch up on a little family time, but I'm glad to, this NFL's picking up, so I'm kind of glad to see how this thing wraps up for us.
Hey, man, listen, this past week, man, there was so much good football and there was so much bad football. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like you can literally go down the line and I mean, I don't even know where to start, man. I mean, you got Mike White, you know what I'm saying, with the Jets. I mean, you're one catch away from like totally changing the narrative of every NFL podcast, every show, you know what I'm saying, with the New York Giants.
That dude Solid's doing his thing over there in New York, man. I've been, man, like you're just starting to see, like it's cool because you get to see the beginning of the season and it's starting to come to a close, man. You start seeing how big of an impact, having a solid, coaching staff that's got an identity and where ownership's behind. And then you start seeing some where they just there's no identity, don't know where we're going next. It's a tough gig, man. You start seeing, man, how hard some of the balance might be. Like, although they probably got maybe a breath of fresh air, it's like you also kind of think, man, how hard was the transition in Indianapolis?
I mean, real quick, man, like you have a lot of people who are absolutely livid that Jeff Saturday got that job. And I see both sides of it. I really do. I mean, you have coaches who have been waiting decades for a head coaching job, right? Mm-hmm. You and I have talked about, the minority hires before in terms of how much of a disparity that is. And I mean, he came in there week one, got the W, and everybody was like, oh,
yeah,
and hasn't won since.
Yeah, exactly, man. It just kind of shows you more and more, man. That's the good old boy league, man. It's who you know, man, how you know them, and and everybody, players included, have been benefiting from that system.
Yeah.
But it is tough, man. And it seems because there was a huge uproar with that hire.
Yeah.
And
Bill Cowher called it a disgrace. If I'm not mistaken, he called it a disgrace to the coaching profession. Those are strong words, bro.
Those are very well. The thing is, man, it's like, yeah, but when is something going to change? Like, if you're really like I see why the owner hired him. It's like, dude, you played here. I know you, familiarity, comfort. I know your personality. I know what I'm going to get. I know your work ethic. You're in the building.
Yeah, and
this season's shot anyway.
Yeah,
let's see what we can happen. You know what I mean?
And a lot of people don't recognize that they tried to hire him. I think more than once they try to hire him back, and he said no, it wasn't the right season of life. You know what I'm saying? How about
what are they going to do? There's nothing being done about it though.
Yeah,
like if this really is a mountain you want to plant your flag on, it doesn't seem like the NFL's doing that.
Nah, man, and it's just, hey, man, let's pump out and print out as much money as we can. So real quick,
well, they're doing that. Doing that.
Yeah. Deshaun Watson, man, I know you saw that game, bro. I know you saw his comeback.
Comeback, if you can call that. Yeah, like, I'm cool. I would have rather. You know what? I would have rather them stick with Brissett, man. I thought he was playing great football.
And he always gives his his teams a chance to win, man. He always has, man.
Well, the way I kind of look at it too is, when has he ever been on just a flat out, Pro Bowl filled roster? And I think he's still play. Don't get me wrong. The Browns have some really good talent around him.
Bet yes.
But it's like, I just think he's played great football, and it's another guy that hasn't necessarily got the credit he deserves. He's always kind of just been the fall guy.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about that real quick, because there's so many storylines and I want to hit all of them like real quick. But we talked about Mike White, right? Zach, what's the dude's name? Is it Zach Wilson, the quarterback from the Jets? So
they're saying he got a case of the yips.
Well, not only that, but like lost the faith in the locker room. Like his post game conference was not strong, and all of a sudden this dude comes out of the woodwork, like, Mike White, and starts killing the game. You see what happened with Jimmy Garoppolo going down, and Purdy comes out, starts killing the game. And so one of the things that I wanted to ask you is, as a quarterback, right? There's 32 y'all in the NFL starters. And then there's another 32 backups. Yeah. Okay. That's 64 players, right? Not to mention your third string guys there's third string guys that are playing this year. You know what I'm saying? And so my thing is, like, can you just walk us through just real quick the mentality of the majority? I know all of them aren't the same, but what would you say is the mentality of the majority of backup quarterbacks in the NFL?
I think there's a percentage of them that have accepted their role. I'm here. This is what it is. This guy's better than I am, and this is my life. Like the guys that I'm talking that are backing up the elite of the elite. And then you have another group where it's like, yeah, man, if you give me a shot, this guy goes down, I'm feeling pretty comfortable. Like, man, shoot, you got that Purdy guy in San Francisco. I don't care what anybody says. That defense is stout. And they have major weapons on offense.
Yes.
Dude, and you got to think about it. It's like that Purdy guy's probably been running the scout offense the entire season. He's not getting reps. He's not getting what he needs to be successful. So you imagine how much harder that is to come in. It's like you're playing recess football, man. Because you didn't have any reps that week. You got none. And it's like, especially this far into the season, dudes are banged up. Dudes are beat up. It's like, dude, practices are light. Practices are limited. We're getting through to the game, getting prepped for playoffs. It's like, so I think there is a large percentage of those guys that are definitely thinking, man, if you gave me a shot with the ones and a week full of preparation, why don't you see what I could come out here and do?
Yeah, no doubt. And I feel like that needs to be your mindset anyway. Regardless of if you're backing up, you know what I'm saying, the elite of the elite. Look at Matt Ryan. Look at Russell Wilson's not playing good football, man. See, and I don't know if he's, do you think he's, I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know if the system is that trash. Like he's not playing good football this year, man. I don't know what's going on over there, man.
I think what you look at, real quick, like to hit on the first point before we get to Russell Wilson is like Purdy, for instance, I would be absolutely blown away if that organization is going to ride out with him for the remainder of the year into the playoffs and all that. I have a feeling that just ain't happening.
Who are they going to bring in? Baker Mayfield?
They are shopping as we speak, bro, trying to make trades, move things around, bring somebody else in. And in that moment, dude, it is so hard to have that mindset of like, oh, I'm going to just keep grinding because I'm going to get my chance. Dude, that is so hard because it's just replacement football, man. Like those guys in New York with the Jets, you telling me they ain't shopping right now? They're not looking at the leaderboard. They're not finding ways to move up in the draft because they're already thinking, Mike White, hey, good for you, bro. But there's something missing.
Yeah, but this is the thing, though. I see what you're saying, and I see the truth in what you're saying. My thing is, both of those teams that you just gave examples of, the San Francisco 49ers and the New York Jets, at this moment in time, those are playoff teams.
Exactly.
And so it's like, dude, better than anybody, if you have to make sure that you're riding this momentum and that nothing falls off the wagon, nothing. Yeah. So it's like to replace either one of those dudes right now, man, they still got a lot of ball to play, man.
I know they got a ton, man, and that's why it's just tough because to find yourself in a solid place where you're the guy is so few and far between, man. I mean, dude, if you really look at it, outside of about maybe 10 teams, dude, it's a quarterback carousel every year, bro.
Yeah.
Every year.
Facts.
You look at all of them, dude. We saw teams play last night. Dude, New Orleans is just trying to figure it out. I mean, like they actually said about Andy Dalton last night, you know, we see him. This is the coaching staff for the Saints. We see him as a solution to the offense, not the problem.
Bro, Andy Dalton has 0 primetime wins, I think. Yeah. I think his record is 0. He might have won 1, but I don't think he's won any primetime game.
But either way, the guy has played some good football in his career.
No doubt.
And it's like, and look at how many teams, it's like you're everywhere. You're just trying to get something. It's like, then they were going with Jameis Winston. And then they were trying to get the multi-facet player Hill. Is he the next guy?
Yeah.
It's good. And that's just one team. They're everywhere, bro.
Yeah. And to Dalton's credit, man, he balled in Cincinnati, bro. Like Cincinnati has always had those teams, but our Pittsburgh Steelers, you know what I'm saying? My Pittsburgh Steelers, we've always been big brother, you know what I'm saying? So, to his credit, he has played some good ball.
The crazy thing is too, is it's like those guys are not getting those massive, heavy rookie deals anymore up front. Those first round draft pick guys are not getting stupid guaranteed money like that anymore. So that's why guys can part ways with them so quick.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
And so it's like, man, I guarantee you there are some teams right now. I mean, I'll tell you right now, I would bet Cody Pickett, man, hey, you got next year to really show us some improvement, or they're going to be looking around. They're going to be thinking.
I mean, you got quarterbacks staying back. They're staying back. You know what I'm saying? In college.
And that's wise.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, man, there's so much that we can talk about, on the baseball front, or not the baseball, but football front. I mean, you got the Titans, and the Eagles. Eagles are just dominating. The NFC East is just crazy this year. Like all the teams are competitive. That was like the worst division, man, for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts real quick on the whole Russell Wilson thing, man? I just feel like there's a lot of things that we as the public don't know.
No, I think there's a ton that we don't know. I think the transition from something that you've been in for 10 plus years is going to be a tough transition. I think you're seeing the value in Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
I definitely think you're seeing the value in Pete Carroll. Nothing on the head coach over there, but I just, man, when you got a guy that's been in the building for a long time or been in several buildings for a long time, dude, I don't think that's very hard to mimic, man.
Yeah.
And there, I mean, that's the writing's on the wall over there. There's going to be some transition with that one. Because there definitely ain't gonna be some transition from Russell Wilson. He got paid.
So man, he's sitting nice, man.
Well, and he didn't. I don't care what we've seen this year, dude. Russell Wilson's elite, man. He's elite. He's got great work ethic, great locker room guy. I mean, he's the total package, man. From everything I've heard and seen, they don't have to switch it up. There'll be old John Elway gonna be making some moves.
Yeah, it's crazy over there. I mean, we haven't even talked about like Lamar Jackson and Aaron Rodgers and what's going on there, man. So we're gonna have to hit those teams a different time. But man, there's so much, man. So today, what I wanted to do is, for the last 10 minutes here, I just wanted to hit on this thing called truth, right? A lot of people, especially in today's day and age, it's crazy because everybody has their truth, right? We see what's in. Again, this is not the podcast to open up all of it in terms of certain things, but like we see what's going on with like Kanye West, or the artist formerly known as Kanye West, Ye, the stuff that happened with Kyrie, the things that are going on in the world of sports. You just talk about the controversies that surround the world, whether you agree what's going on overseas or not. I mean, you have different things that are going on. The Russians invasion of Ukraine, Brittany Griner situation. There's so many things, right? Donald Trump, you know what I'm saying, running again. the things that are happening, just within our political system, our educational system, voting, all these things, right? And everybody has a stance. Everybody has their truth. And one of the things that I've been on lately, and I want to hear your thoughts on this, is you and I are both, we're men of faith, man. We believe in God. We put our faith, hope, and trust in the Lord. And so we can talk a little bit different with a little bit different, tenor and tone and lens. And my thing is this, man. God can use anybody, or God through time has allowed people, whether they are evil people, whether they are people that are walking with the Lord, people who are, really good people, to tell the truth.
Yeah.
He can, like anybody can tell the truth. If we look at the Bible, there's all kinds of instances where there were evil kings that stood and spoke the truth, right, about God or about the situation that was happening. And I think that's happening a lot, man, in this world today, man. I think that there are a lot of people who we look at on TV, right? And we're like, man, I know what you're about. I heard those songs that you made, man. I know what you used to do back in the day. And what we do is we automatically erase them and say, no, because you did this, I'm not going to listen to anything that you say.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that that's a really dangerous place, because there's not one of us that is perfect. Like if you look at the Bible, right? The Bible was written by a bunch of imperfect people. Like you're talking about people who are murderers, people who are adulterers, people who are, having people killed. Like it's crazy when you think about it.
100%.
But the last point I wanted to make in terms of the truth, like anybody, God can use anybody to usher in the truth, is this. As far as the conversation, the argument that, oh, you have your truth, I have my truth, and all this, that, and the third. It's like this, man. I don't care what country you go to. I don't care what city, what municipality that you're in. Every city, especially every modern city, there are, like, if you're going to go and build a home, right? Or a building, a skyscraper, every city has codes that you must abide by. Right? Yeah. You have a code for plumbing, electricity, gas, like even the way a home is framed and the foundation that it's built upon, the grading of it. Like there are certain codes that every home, every building must abide by for it to be legal.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, if you go in and you say, oh, you know what? I bought this land. I can make it and do it. I can do whatever I want on it. I can make it however I want. And then, Joe Schmuckatelli comes in there and he does the same thing. And he's like, I can make it however I want it. And then this dude comes in and he's like, I can make it however I want it. All of a sudden, you know what you got? Chaos.
Yeah.
That's what you got. You got wires crossing. You got this dude tapping into your gas line. You got electricity that's not up to code. You got a possibility of fire, explosion, or even worse. Why? Because you wanted to do things the way you wanted. I wanted to do things the way that I wanted. And now you have chaos.
100%.
There's no such thing as partial truths, half truths, half of a... Doug, it's the truth is the truth, man, and the truth will set you free. And so, those are my thoughts, man, and I'd love to hear yours, man.
No, I'm 100% with you on all of that. The tough thing that I think we've gotten into, and the fruit is there, is it's not even we're looking at the real or whatever. It's not the actual truth. We're making up our own truth. And so everybody's making up their own truth. And then if you don't fit my truth, then you're an idiot. I can't listen to you. There's nothing here. I mean, dude, I think the best thing to have is somebody that believes something else. Let's hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
But let's actually bring it all to the truth. This is what I believe. Hey, good for you. What's the truth though? This is how I live. Okay, good for you. But how should you? Like it's just become, I'm going to make my truth, and that's just going to be the truth. And that's so destructive, man, because once you get to a place where you're unwilling to live in reality, or if you're living in a place where no one's allowed to disagree with you or bring a question or even question your thought process, man, that's a scary place to be, because that's what happens when you start talking about, this destruction and chaos of just society, or even just life in general. And it might not look like war in Ukraine, but I think it looks like utter dysfunction.
I mean, that's saying it lightly right there. You know what I'm saying? A dysfunction is like the beginning. You know what I mean? And then
I always want my life, like I want to have people in my life that I can go to and I'm going to hear the truth from, even if it hurts my feelings.
100%. 100%, man. 100%. And that's what we need. And I just feel like, at what point were we all supposed to agree on everything?
Yeah, like, dude, I was on the East Coast this past week doing some stuff and doing some meetings, working with some guys, and like there was a guy there that worked quite a bit within counseling, worked quite a bit within athletics, and just people in general. And like he had a saying, and it was always open, but it was like the guys that actually did well agreed to it. His saying was, "You open for feedback?" Hey, on those thoughts right there, are you open for feedback? And
hey, go ahead, man.
We got a lot of cats out here that are not open for feedback, man.
That's funny. Hey, so in psychology, we have this thing called motivational interviewing, right? So motivational, and we call the five A's of motivational interviewing. And one of those A's is you have to ask, right?
Yeah.
You have to ask for permission to give them feedback, because a lot of people don't want it. Like they don't want it, or they don't want it. They don't necessarily know that they need it. But when you come in there and you say, "Hey, mind if I ask you a question?" Right? Or you say, do you mind if I share something with you?
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So when you ask them ask them permission, all of a sudden the power dynamic in that conversation just changes, because now they have opened themselves up to feedback, right?
Exactly.
Whereas before, especially if they have a strong personality, they're just walking around, self-righteous, or thinking that they're right, or thinking that they're, that they're on
all
point
the time.
So when you say that makes me laugh, bro. That's funny. Like, are you open for feedback, buddy?
Well, dude, the funny part was to look at the cats' faces after they were asked that question. Hey, pal, would you like some feedback on that one? And it's almost like it was like the CD skipped. I guess.
Funny.
Yeah,
that's funny, man.
But you know what I did see from that though was the guys that were actually open to feedback. It was a moment where they allowed themselves to be taught, a moment where they allowed themselves to get in touch with a deeper part of actual reality instead of like living in the matrix somewhere. You know what I mean? And then you saw guys connect. And then you saw a relationship deepen. It was, dude, it was powerful, man. And I think we got a lot of people that need to get used to some feedback in their life.
That's right, man. That's good, man. And we're gonna go ahead and drop the mic right there. But man, hey, thank you guys for joining us on the All Things Performance podcast. We cover a lot of different topics that deal with mental performance, just getting better, right? Getting better as an athlete, getting better as a performer, or just even as a human being. And so if you like this podcast, please share it. That's how we get this message to more people. And we'll have some links in the description below. God bless you guys, and we'll talk to you soon.